Bro, like all the stuff that I was put through at from 5 to like 10 is, very, very crazy, and I know I'll just lay it out for y'all folks like that. Like suicide prevention and awareness is very real, y'all. And like, honestly, there's a couple times, like from 5 years old to 8 years old, where like I had a knife to my wrist because like I just.
What's going on, world? Dungee Podcast, episode 7. Today, I brought my guy, my dog, Castro in the motherfucking house, man.
Yeah.
Y'all make sure to hit the like button. Y'all make sure to subscribe so y'all know and y'all keep up with the content. But today, I want you to know, man, my brother.
Right on, bro.
Appreciate you for coming through. Appreciate you for coming through. So, real quick, man, we just gonna go straight to it and give you your flowers, man. We're talking about a Redwood City legend here, the Redwood City Picasso, community activist. He has his own brand, Anónimas. Um, Recetas Anónimas. We
Yeah,
messed up.
anonymous
Recetas
recipes, man.
Anónimas.
Yeah.
Anonymous recipes. Man, I mean, my guy does it all. It's a pleasure to have you here, bro. And today you will be giving your flowers for all the hard work, all the community work you've done, the lives you've impacted, and it's just a pleasure to sit here with you today, bro, and let you know, man, that you one of them guys. You a Rebel City legend, highly respected. I mean, people tell me like, "Yo, spit everybody." Nah, everybody know Kaz, man. The amount of network my man Kaz know is through the roof, man. He's loved, he's appreciated. If you ain't heard it from nobody, bro, just know that Rebel City loves you. North Fair Oaks loves you. We stand behind you, and bro, you paint our pictures, man. You
My
paint
guy.
our pictures.
My guy, my guy.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, I appreciate
So-
that, man. Hey, little snap right there, man. A great intro, bro. Thank you so much for that, bro.
Oh yeah, of course, man. And so with that being said, brother, let's take it back, man, to the woods, man. Let's take it back
Yeah.
to, growing up in Redwood City, my guy. You know what I'm saying? How was it for you, man, growing up?
Oh, for sure, you guys. So I'll take you back from the get go, bro. So basically, I was born in Pittsburgh, California. That's where like the Hus and Jack and them are.
Okay.
What's it called? I grew up there till about 5, and then my mom and my stepdad moved to Redwood City in '96. So like I was around 4 years old. I was born in '91, and kicked it off from there, bro. When I came to this new city, right, like I'm just as any other kid would be in a new town, just with a bunch of questions and fantasies, right? Just from like relationships to fantasies and questions, right? From relationships to sort of new encounters, new endeavors, like everyday sort of responsibilities, from finding myself out to being in a new household, questions about that. So a little bit of all that, mixed in, just that, that what goes into when you move into a new city. And, from there, bro, like I found myself as a kid, like trying to fit in into a lot of places, right? And, just trying to, again, having those questions as far as like trying to find out who I was and, what foundation I'm being a part of. Because at the same time, I moved into a new city, a new household, right? My stepdad. And, what I'm saying, from there, bro, like, I found art as an outlet, as a way to sort of put all my adversities and my insecurities on paper, subconsciously, right? Because at the time, I didn't know what I was really doing.
Okay.
So just pursuing that, what I'm saying, bro, and making a career out of it now, and being able to sort of shed light on certain topics and issues, also hold a stand for community and self empowerment, right? And then, kind of moving into that new cycle of, finding oneself and, what I'm saying, I'm blessed to be able to do the work that I do, but also kind of represent a good sort of foundation of leadership, bro, and positivity and optimism to a lot of people, right? So, I'm blessed to say that I came from a different city, came from nothing, right, and created a beautiful sort of garden of roses with all this work that I do, bro, like with the community, with myself, my family, and most importantly with the brothers like you and Carlos. Carlos, shout out to Carlos doing all the production in the back of this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, bro? So to have the relationships that I had now that I didn't think I was going to have because, again, I didn't know who I was and still had a lot of questions. And, I'm still a student of the game, bro. Every day I wake up, I'm a student. Like I never try to seem like I'm on a high horse or like, like I got it down. I appreciate all the love. Trust me, a lot of people tell me all the time, like, hey, Cass, how you feel? Like, people don't acknowledge you in your mural. And they'll show me a video, this and that. Man, I could care less, bro. Like, as long as the art is doing is justice, which is self-empowering our community, especially our young queens, Latina queens, to feel empowered, feel safe, feel comfortable, and be able to feel like they also have a decision and a motive, right? But along with the young Carlitos, just allowing them to feel welcome, allowing them to feel self-empowered, most importantly, and then also just relating back to family and their foundation, right? Because you can't move forward without a foundation. You can't move forward without loving yourself first. So, all in all, bro, again, to like answer your question, like, you know, coming from literally absolutely nothing, as I like to say, because again, man, like I moved to a new city, a strict ass stepdad, a mom who I had to learn that was the most loving, but also she had to love too, right? So I also had to go through the abandonment of my real father, which we can get into later on if you want, but also the abandonment of my mom, and not necessarily a negative way, but knowing that like, okay, you know what, I gotta grow up.
Yeah.
I gotta grow up. My mom had to have a life too. I can't give my mom the love that another man can, right? Type shit. So, what I'm saying? All in all that mixed in, bro, it's from the mud. So that's why I feel very grateful to be in a platform like this, bro, around loving people and getting the flowers and stuff, because it's times and moments like these where I can really sit down and give myself flowers, since I have to force myself to, right? I'm never really gonna give myself, because I always like to stay humble.
We will.
To yeah, Dungee, yeah. So again, man, to just give myself the flowers and allow myself to tell everybody like you could do it too, man. Like you just gotta believe in yourself. I'm getting into more of the background story.
Well, most definitely, man. Just to piggyback of what you said, man. Dungee podcast is just all about showcasing people's skills and just reaching out to people, man, that have a story. Reaching out to people that are influential, like yourself. Feel like you have big pull in this city. Very, very well respected. But at the same time, man, you carry yourself so humbly. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's I think what I feel attracts a lot of people to you, bro, is the fact that you carry yourself very, very respectfully. And you the man, bro. But you carry yourself like, and you level with people, and you don't make others feel like they less than you. You say we equal, and I mean, when you do the things you do, bro, and you have the impact you have, and you carry yourself that way, it's very powerful, bro. And I love that about you, bro. And
Thank you, bro. Thank you so
don't
much.
ever change that,
Yeah,
because I think
yeah.
it's gonna continue to take you to places that you never thought you could do, and the sky's only the limit, my brother. I didn't even know that you had a little upbringing in Pittsburgh. You said
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
see, like that's something new to me, man. And as much as I've known you for so long, man, you always learn something new about someone.
Yeah, facts,
But
facts.
at the end of the day, man, you know where your footprint resides, man, and it's for sure Rebel
For
City.
sure. Yes.
And so to transition now, man, you the Rebel Picasso, man. Like
I
you know what I'm
appreciate it,
saying.
bro.
Like
Thank
that's
you. Right on.
that's your
Yeah,
nickname.
yeah.
That's what I love to call
The
you.
Castro,
People
yeah.
call you that. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I just want to know, man, like. What got you into art, bro? Like I know you touched on it a little bit,
Yeah, yeah.
But let's elaborate more on like
For sure.
what art
Yeah.
did
So
for you, bro.
yeah. So like kind of mentioned earlier, like subconsciously, bro, it was my outlet. Like right to, there was a lot of like, what's it called? How like I'll say like injustices and like the family transition kind of thing, right? Where like I moved into a household with my stepdad. I had my beautiful sister and I had my beautiful mom, right? So it's all three of us moving into a new household. My stepdad ended up being very traditional, Latino type dude, like
Yeah.
women outside, excuse me, women inside, men outside type narrative, and which I think is BS that follows through with a lot of misogynistic, machismo bullshit. You know what I'm saying, that we're trying to work on to get omit, but it's not just here; it's everywhere. So, with that said, like, going dealing with those abandonment issues, I want to say, and a lot of just adversities. During the time subconsciously, it was like art was my only outlet. Art was my only like way to really dream, besides dreaming at night, like in sleep, right? So again, like drawing Pokemon was like the first thing I really fell in love with, right? Like I collected Pokemon in third grade. So like this is like 90, 94, 96, right? So Pokemon's hitting its all peak, right? It literally is in 91 in Japan, then boom, what's it called? So just from drawing the Pokemon, bro, and like to just drawing, like, bro, I remember I made my own comics in like fourth grade.
Okay.
And it was on some like,
Comics.
yeah, man, it was called, and the dude was called Stick Man, and it was just like this dude who would go around and like, it was on some Grand Theft Auto shit, like,
Man.
hey, stick up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stick up.
And like, he would like save the world and some shit carries. And bro, honestly, like if I've thrown away some art, those are the little note. It was like those little notebooks with that had the 70 on it from like Savers,
Yep.
bruh. And like, man, I threw them all away, bro. Like I just remember throwing them away. And I remember being like a kid and being like, damn, man, I shouldn't have thrown that away. But then I just, whatever. So back to the story. really just having the outlet, bro, having the outlet to dream, to put my things on paper, and most importantly, bro, to have fun. It was like really my only way to tune out everything that was going on from like the responsibilities that I had to carry as a 5 year old that people shouldn't even be doing, bro. Like there should be no 5 year old thinking about where they're gonna sleep next or like if they're even loved and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy. I know, and trust me, I know it still happens today. I'm not trying to make my issue like a specific one, but bro, like all this stuff that I was put through at from 5 to like 10 is very very crazy. And I know I'll just lay it out for y'all folks like that. Like suicide prevention and awareness is very real, y'all. And like honestly, there's a couple times like from 5 years old to 8 years old where like I had a knife to my wrist because like I just I couldn't really take it. It was very that serious for me. And I always look back on those times because I was like, damn, man, like I was really 8 years old thinking like this, like, you know what I'm saying? So, it was, again, guys, it was a way, it was an outlet for me to really like not let go, still stay in and do something that I love to do.
Man, that's beautiful, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's where we both connect, man. Because for you, it was art, and for me, it was music, right? And I felt like we both really took what we did seriously, and we really like this is what we loved. It was our passion, bro. And I think I had an admiration for how much you had for art, and I could see you had the same admiration for what I had for music.
Yeah.
And we just, we joined forces, man, and
Yeah,
we
facts.
became close over the years. I had the pleasure to go to your wedding, my guy.
My God, that was,
one
hey,
of
it was
your
a movie. The
biggest
wedding was a
days.
movie.
It was an incredible time.
Yeah, the movie was a
Um,
wedding, man. Shout out to everybody who went to
but
my wedding, man. It
but
was
man,
awesome.
like it's just crazy, man, to see the
Yeah.
growth and see man, like how much work, man. Like I'm not specifically hours and stuff,
Yeah.
but how much work did you put into your craft, man? Like explain to the people what it took, man, to cause man, I think I've seen you sketch stuff like in 10 minutes, bro. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
I remember when we
yeah,
was
right
at
on.
PAL, like, hey, check this out. Just like 15 minutes, you already sketched something. I'm like, oh my gosh, bro. Boy,
Yeah.
did it in his sleep. So I guess maybe the people want to know, bro, like, how much work did you put into that craft to get to that level, man? Talk to me about the process of
Yeah, bro.
what it took to
Oh,
get
man.
to the level you're at.
It took hours and hours of practice, bro. And I'll just say that hours of practice, hours of sketching a hand like a million times, hours of sketching faces, hours of going through life experiences, you know what I'm saying? Like where I was tested as far as like patience and time, value, key points, like discipline, all that really revolved around itself. So again, like I mentioned, I'm a student of the game at all times. I never want to ever feel like I'm higher than anybody. And I appreciate you reflecting that upon me, bro, because that's how I love to move. I know that I do carry like a stigma of a, a successful person is that, but I'm never gonna see it like that. I'm always gonna be a student of the game. I'm always gonna be a community member first, and most importantly, I'm gonna be a leader into leading my folks into knowing that they can do it too. But again, man, back to your question, it just took hours of practice, man. And I remember my time at the Academy of Art in Frisco when I was going to college. Just like I just remember all those Caltrain rides, like all those Caltrain rides to Frisco, living my life up there. And then like sometimes missing the train, sometimes having to leave class 10 minutes early to get the train back to make my shift at 5 p.m. all the way to 3 a.m. and then take the train at 8 a.m. So I only got like 3 hours of sleep. So like it's just, bro, hours of practice, hours of dedication. And that's why they always say practice makes perfect, man. But I always like to say like you gotta you gotta find the light at the end of the tunnel. No matter how you can, bro. Like you got to do it. And what I want to say off of that is everybody wants to get into most people, right, will want to get into a craft or a profession or something. Want to start a business, right? The key point that you gotta do, key point that you gotta understand and accept within yourself is that you gotta get your mind right first. You got that mind right first, right? So I said a lot of practice. My mind was not right when I first started to do all that practice, right? You can practice, but if your mind isn't right and you don't have any goals for yourself, right? Because there's a difference between a dream and a goal. A dream is something that you want and you're gonna work towards. A goal is something that you can accomplish.
Ooh, that's
You know
real
what I'm saying?
gems
So
right there. That's real
with that
gems.
said, that mindset is what you have to have in order to really get yourself into a conscious level of practice, right? And then it's levels from there. Right, so it's like you work towards that conscious, like, oh shit, okay, I know I'm Castro. I know I want to paint about community. I know I want to paint about cultural history. I know I want to paint about social justice, etc., etc. But if I'm not fully conscious of like what the history of social justice is, if I'm not fully conscious about my emotions and my frustrations and my insecurities, well then all the stuff that I paint is not really gonna matter because, well, to oneself, it's gonna matter to the community because they'll see something beautiful. But if the artist can't relate to the art, we're kind of being hypocrites. That's the way I see it, right? Because when I'm painting something, I'm putting on a wall that literally have experienced, have researched, or I want to bring to the table to sort of inspire, But you can't do that without really knowing what you're bringing to the table. You dig what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
but again, man, back to answer simply your question, like how like what it took to get here, practice.
Practice makes
Practice,
perfect,
bro.
y'all. Y'all
For
hear that?
surely. Yeah,
Practice
hustle,
makes
man.
perfect. All you youngins out there watching, or
Yeah.
even adults, man. I mean, we learn something new every
And
day.
you know what, bro? Actually, I'll say this, like,
Yeah.
when I started taking the art seriously right after college, 2016, right? Like I graduated in 15. Started right out of high school, 2009, but took little classes. So when I graduated, right, I started doing my art shows. Boom, I got artist art and shit that I was like, yeah, like I've worked hard to get here, right? And this goes back to again the mindset, right? So I thought I had the mindset, but no, I was doing it for the money right there at that point, right? So I was like, damn, I didn't sell shit my first art show, and I expected to make this and that. Man, I went home, cried, did the whole whatnot, the feeling bad for for oneself type shit, and I almost gave up, man. I was like, damn, I did all this art shit for nothing, like fuck. Nah, fuck that. Like, it took me a little bit of time, as it should for any human being who, like, is starting something new from scratch, man. It's not going to be easy unless you're inheriting a business or inheriting, like, boss moves from a real player type shit. Like, then you got the system foundation right? I didn't have no big brother. I didn't have no dad to help me with those steps, right? And not to say that, if you do have that, it will, but you get what I'm saying. There's certain instances and cases where they do. My first art show, what's it called? I didn't make shit, bro. So then I bossed up later on, man. Got myself back into my mindset, and I did a second art show, and there it goes. My first art piece sold for $500. You know what I mean? That was my second art show. Fast forward 5-6 years later, that's when you guys were helping me with my art shows. I'm making 6 bands, and then my biggest art show I did was 12 bands, bro. That was my last one that I did. My last one I did in San Francisco for the Pancakes and Art for our show. I sold one piece for $1,200, another one for $600. And what's it called? It was those key points, bro, where that practice really started like to, become evident into a reality, right? Like for real, like if you work hard for something, it's gonna follow back, and that goes back to that mindset. If you have your mind right and you know what you want and you're working towards it, everything else is gonna follow. And like everybody expects it to follow within the first week, first month, first 6 months. Fuck that, bro. Like it might take 2 years, but once it hits, it hits.
Bro, that's beautiful, man. And you kind of already beat me to what I was gonna ask you.
Yeah.
Definitely wanted to ask you, like, when did this go from a hobby to like a career path for you? And I think you kind of touched on it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, when did that transition happen, bro? Was it through the art shows? Was it through? When did it all click? When it was like, you know what?
Honestly, bro, I knew I was gonna be an artist in 5th grade. Like I knew it.
Okay,
like,
so it was already the
like
mindset was already in.
My mom, she started seeing me go through sketchbook. Like I remember my mom bought me a sketchbook and I was done with that shit in a week. She's like, oh damn. So we went to Michael's and she bought me 3 sketchbooks. And I had one sketchbook for Pokemon, one sketchbook for Dragon Ball Z, which I got into like, long story short, story long. Pokemon 3rd grade to like 4th grade or 5th, half of 5th. And then 5th grade was all Dragon Ball Z leading into 7th grade. 7th grade, I learned about Chicano art. I learned about Aztecs, Mayans, and I learned about the Aztec calendar. I started learning about Chicanoism and how Mexican Americans impact global economies and what they will. So I started thinking, oh shit, okay, damn, this is my culture, my history. So boom, the Chicano art comes into it. And then you mix all that into college along with fine art, along with graffiti, along with Bob Ross art, along with all these other different types of art that I love. And boom, there comes anonymous recipes. And I know we'll touch into that right now.
What I'm getting here is you definitely knew since 5th grade that it was.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, you were, going through different art shows and stuff. But in your back of your mind, like, through this whole journey, you knew that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah, I knew that's what I wanted to do, bro.
Okay,
and I was actually going to say, like, during that time, 5th grade or 6th grade, I think. Yeah, I think it was 6th. My mom put me in art instruction schools. And it was this dude who came to the house and literally, like, gave me art art homework, and it was all this sort of like booklet brochure type gig that we got into. And next year, I'm doing these like college sort of style classes from home, and mom gave me that, but only because she saw me serious. So I'll tell you, like, even in high school, bro, like I knew I was gonna be an artist, go to art school. Like, like my senior year, I took two academic classes, which was econ and government. I got out of high school. I got out of school at like 12, bro. Oh, I was gonna live
Okay.
my life, but nah, man. But I always knew it was what I wanted to do, bro, because I loved it.
Okay.
I fell in love with it. You feel me? Like I knew it was something that not only I could get lost into my dreams in my world and like just be able to create, but also be able to create for good and be able to like showcase, like potential and in other ways, and be that sort of like, um, the underdog artist, the underdog Latino, the underdog,
Beautiful, bro.
everything that people sort of account a loser or someone who doesn't have it figured out, and beat the odds, not that I feel
For
like I
sure.
did that, you feel me? And, I'll say that my stepdad was like, he never saw that, and I thought he still doesn't see it, but and not to like throw shade, but it's just like think about all this love that that you're hearing from me as art, but also having this sort of like in the back of my head, like damn, like I'm not doing enough, in a lot of ways, you feel me? Which
Yeah.
happens in a lot of Latino families, bro,
I see
because
what
the
you mean.
culture is so twisted up as far as foundation and expectation, right? There's so many ways that like our households are driven by these old traditional ways that are really
I feel you that
justifiable.
you never could get a like
Yeah,
maybe like a pat on your back, like, oh, I'm
yeah,
proud of you, son, type of moment, right? Because
yeah,
it's that tough love of, oh yeah, you got to just keep pushing, man. This is
yeah,
life, like this is what
yeah,
you're supposed to do, you know.
yeah.
So there's no like,
And to a good extent, like
yeah, no, no,
yeah,
it's
you know
more
what I'm
like a
saying?
tough love type of thing, and there's
Yeah,
no like affection kind of to it.
Simone,
See what
yeah,
I'm saying? So I know
yeah,
what you mean. Like,
yeah,
it's more like it's the tough love, but like sometimes, man, like I know what you mean, bro. Like you just want them to be like, yo, I'm proud of you. Like sometimes when you do
yeah,
so much, especially when you get love, like from bro, the whole city, like whole North Fair Oaks,
yeah,
see how much love people, and then the ones closest to you, right, the one that you consider close, you can't get that from. So it's kind of,
yeah,
feel me, like
yeah,
it's like, yeah, like I'm getting all this acknowledgement, but and I appreciate it and I'm thankful for it. But man, it would just be mean the world to me if OG would just, I know what you mean, bro.
yeah,
Like
absolutely, bro.
if
Yeah,
he just like, hey son, like look what you've done.
yeah, yeah,
I know I've always been tough on you, but I'm so proud of you and
yeah,
how
right,
far you've come. It's those little things sometimes, man,
right, right.
that mean the world to us, right?
Yeah,
I do feel like acknowledgement and being cared for and being loved, bro, is
yeah,
the three things that will keep you from being a serial killer or doing any sort of negative shit, bro. I'm a
yeah,
highly believer that we all just want to be loved, bro.
yeah,
If you look in between the lines of anyone that's ever done anything evil, bro, they're lacking those three things, bro.
yeah.
I'm like
Yeah,
100 with it.
validation goes a long way, bro. Like honestly,
Exactly,
man, I think
exactly.
that that's a real key point in any sort of family or process. Like validation is gonna be key, and everybody wants to be validated, bro. Wake
100%.
up, your hair looks good. I mean,
Yeah,
hey, hey,
you
hey.
would shit.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey,
hey, you
you want
got
to wake
nice
up with
cologne on. You
purpose.
feel me? Hey,
You want to wake up with purpose, like
exactly.
you
Wake up with
or
purpose.
it gives us fulfillment, like
Yeah,
we matter.
Simone. Yeah,
Feel me?
exactly, bro.
Fulfillment is very important. So
Yeah.
man, like you are pretty recognized, bro. So what are some of the things you did, man, to network and get out there? Like I know you mentioned some of the art shows, but
Yeah.
talk to us about the process, man, of what it took for you to like get recognized and for people to start really seeing and your art and people starting to like turn the other way, like, oh man, Cass is like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I think honestly, man, like just never being afraid. For me, it was to never be afraid of being in a room, and trust me, bro.
Okay.
Like there were several moments I when I was growing up, where I was either shy, I was like embarrassed, or I put myself in challenging positions. For example, like when I used to go to these like parties at MA or like at MA, like jumping from high school to high school, like you know talking with like the white folks, talking with the Latinos, talking with like the principals and like I don't know, like I feel like I always wasn't afraid to be myself, and I always wasn't afraid to speak up. Right now, did I get it from the jump? Hell no. I sound like a fucking idiot at first, but just being able to practice again, going back to practice having that conversation with that person, having practice like being in a room where you're about to get fired, or like practice like being in a room with people that you feel undermined in, being in a room with people who don't see eye to eye with you, like being in a room with your enemies, bruh, type shit.
Man.
Straight up. Like
Okay.
practicing those moments so that way now, like nowadays,
Okay.
bro, I don't, if we're in the San Mateo County official building to Summit, if I'm teaching at a school, to, you know what I'm saying, doing an art mural, I'm going to be 100%, 110 myself, because I've already been through those moments of like, self doubt. I've been through, and trust me, I'm not saying I got it all figured out, but it's definitely a lot to sort of maneuver, but it's possible, man, when you're able to just kind of accept yourself and, you know, be able to speak your mind.
Yeah, man. I mean, I remember pulling up to a lot of your art shows in the city, bro. And like you said, we just was always supportive of you, bro, because I just believed in your art. I believed in your talent. You were a genuine person, and you were very supportive in my career too, man. Like
Sure.
like always promoting me, helping me get my name out there. So it was one of those things, man, where I just felt really connected, man, and it feels good, man, to see how far you've come
Right
because
on, bro.
I seen the growth, bro. And when you see, something just grow and it starts, maybe not at the, well, I mean, we all start somewhere, right? We all start
Right. Yeah,
and we
for
got to
sure.
build our way up, right?
Yeah.
But to see some of the beginning stages and see you in art shows, to go from art shows to a mural is like, it's crazy, bro. And so,
on, bro.
I
Appreciate
just
you.
remember all those days you grind, all your merch, all your paintings that you had for sale. You was out there with all different sorts of artists networking,
Yeah.
and man, you put in that work, bro. You put in that work to get to where you are now, man. And again, bro, like the whole city's proud of you, not just myself, bro. North Fair
Appreciate
Oaks,
it,
bro.
man.
Like I
I see
said,
the
man,
love. I
you
see the love. Thank
you know
you,
what I'm
man.
saying. You paint our pictures. So
And thank you, everybody watching too, man.
Oh yeah, for
Appreciate
sure,
y'all.
man. Yeah, yeah.
Appreciate the
They,
support
yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to pinpoint that, man. Like that, I've seen my guy go hustle, grind in the city. You know, maybe he wasn't even the most popular art show, but he was there. Any
Yeah.
opportunity that presented itself, I would always see you out there just trying to seize the opportunities.
Yeah, and I'll say that, man. Jump off that for sure. Like, you
Yep.
miss 100% of the opportunities you don't take, and
Yep.
I'm a core believer in that for sure. And like honestly, it was that art show like you just mentioned where I either wasn't all that hype, but I was there,
Yep.
and most importantly, giving back. So for example, like for Tito and Chase Love, like, man, shout out to my boy Tito
Shout
and
out
like.
Tito.
Yeah, man, Chase Love. Shout out to El Concilio, North Fair Oaks, man, and Avendano. I'm doing great work over there. Just like it's moments like that where like you collaborate with those folks and do something positive for the community as well. And
For sure.
not just for your own income. I know, trust me, bro. I love to get paid, but I love the relationship even more.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm
Your
saying?
community
Straight up.
loves you for that.
Straight. Thank you, bro. Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, man, jump on that opportunity 100%. Because I mean, dude, it's like, it's like all these little, all my young rappers and stuff, right? They wanna have that feature with Burner and they want to do the thing. But if you're not in the studio, you're not practicing your craft, then what are you really doing?
Yeah, most definitely, bro. Hell yeah.
Absolutely. And then the
That's
artists,
facts.
if any of my artists who are watching this, anybody who's painting this and that, I mean, hey man, get into that art show, apply for that mural, apply for that opportunity, man. Because imagine if you get that reply back, you never know what's gonna happen. It's gonna
Hell
jump
yeah.
off. Yeah.
Hell yeah, most definitely. So for the people that don't know, man, just talk about the brand and let them know the inspiration behind it and what it is exactly.
For sure, yeah. So my company is called Anonymous Recipes LLC. That's Recetas Anónimas in Spanish. The name came about, bro, trying to put all like everything that I create into one name, into one term, into one business, right? Because again, going back to what I mentioned, I'm not just a graffiti artist. I'm not just a muralist. I'm not just a fine art painter. I'm all of that, right? And that's where Anonymous Recipes comes in. Anonymous for the different subject matters and paintings that I'll create. And then recipes as far as is like slang for the products that I produce.
Okay.
Right. So putting those together, man, it's like a sort of just one name to identify whatever it is I create. And I feel like now that people see the variety of works that I've done in the murals, right? They all sort of carry the same subjects as far as social justice and self empowerment, but at the same time, they're big works of art with a lot of meaning, right? And whether it is that graffiti art mixed in with the street art, mixed in with the social justice art, it all comes into one under Anonymous Recipes. And I thought of the name like right after college or right during college actually. And I just fell in love with it. It's but there's been times where I've been like questionable, like where I should call myself Castro, right? Where like you all, what I'm saying, like things like that, and another name. But bro, honestly, I feel like it's a great name. I love it. Yeah, if you got something that you love, man, work towards it. Especially if it's a name for anything, for all my entrepreneurs out there that want to label themselves, label their business. Trust that word because it goes a long way. Trust me, there's a lot of people who have question on Honest Recipes in my life, but when that check comes in on Honest Recipes LLC, it tastes a little better than it sounds.
Send that invoice, man. You know what I mean?
So again, title just putting it all together, man. The art that I create,
that's beautiful, bro.
And making it happen. My little logo, the character that you see is right is a character. Yeah, right on, bro. Hey, appreciate the love, man. Hell yeah. What's it called? The logo right there, man, is based off of this graffiti artist. His name was Hirafa, who used to paint these giraffes all over the Bay Area. And in high school, when I was doing a lot of graffiti, like I was hella into it, bro, and I loved it so much that I was like, I would do characters myself, right? Drawing Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z. I would always invent my own characters. I had my own comic books I would create. So I always was like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna fucking create my own logo one day. And little did you know, I made the little dude, and there we are, man.
Little dude, man. Little dude looks great. It's a
on,
representation. Man. It's a logo, man. It's got your name written all over it. It's beautiful, man. Like I love how you just summarized it, man, to where it's like, what, man, I'm all of this. Let me just put it into one. Yeah. Because that's the thing. When you identify something, I learned this through a PR class I took, man. It talks about sometimes like you just need to identify with something and give it a name. Yeah. And once you give it a name, bro, it has so much power. Yeah. See, if you say, oh yeah, if you talk about, oh yeah, I'm a muralist, but I'm also an artist, and then you have names for all those different things, you're gonna drive people crazy. Yeah, you're
gonna drive yourself crazy. Honestly. Yeah.
But once if you just sum it up with it, that's anonymous, and you're like, what's that? And then it's all this, all of the above. Yeah. Boom, you just identify what it is. You know what I mean? Yeah, so for those of y'all listening out there, that's some game for y'all, man. Just name, just give it a name, man. When something has a name, it has power. Yeah, like trust yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's how people identify with names, right? For sure. So you know what I'm saying? Just give it a name, man. But I love that concept of how you did that and brought it all together. Now, man, we're here to get the mural that you did, man. Middlefield mural. It's a masterpiece, bro.
Thank you.
Bro. I mean, I'm speaking for a lot of people, and I'm sure everyone has their own opinion on it, and it's all positive shit. But bro, like that to me was like. You just painted our story, our life, bro. It's deep, bro. Like that mural right there, bro. It brings good and bad memories, and I say bad because sometimes that mural is so powerful that if you're ever emotional, I've even seen people cry on it. I've seen people smile on it. Facts. You know what I mean? It's an array of emotions, and that place is known for like people grabbing their tacos at the El Griense in the drive-through, just pulling up, looking at the beautiful mural. And eating their tacos or going like I see like Chicano photo shoots being done there, bro.
Facts.
It's just being utilized by so many people. I've done my fair share of music videos in there. Yeah. Other rappers have done their fair share of music videos. You gave us like identity with that, bro. Dungee podcast is here, bro, to like again, bro, reiterate the fact that, bro, like that shit is a masterpiece, bro. Man, so being on the mural, man, let's just talk about the process, bro. Like, just how did you even get up? Like, how were you able to be runner up, man? How were you able to be nominated and grant yourself that opportunity in the first place? Yeah,
for sure, man. Well, I gotta start off by giving a big shout out to Mali Cornejo. She was what's it called, District 4, representative. She works for county, man, and a really good dear friend of mine that I've known for a while since high school. And when I saw the opportunity like online, because if you go to San Mateo County, they'll have like art listings or whatever. I seen it, and she had tapped in on me at the time. And was like, hey man, like you should go for this. And I was like, oh shit, okay, for sure. So from there I applied. We did the whole meetings at the North Farrell Community Center that my boy Spitta was a part of, along with a lot of great community members and dear friends of mine as well, which I appreciated so much, man. And I came up to being like one of the 10th finalists, and then down to the top, I think 5 if I'm not mistaken.
It was 3, right?
It was a 3, yeah.
So
actually, right. It was 3.
I remember, bro. It was a guy from San Carlos.
Yep.
And it was a guy from San Francisco.
Yeah.
And we're doing a mural in Rose City.
Yeah.
And you from Rose City.
And everybody going up.
Y'all do the math there, man. A San Carlos guy, a San Francisco guy, or a Rose City guy. Yeah. Who's gonna tell the best North Farrell story? Come on now. Yeah. So we took it upon ourselves. I remember it was me, Tito, Lalo. It was a lot of us. So I'm sorry if I forget your name. I think even Rafa was there.
Rafa was there.
We went there to represent for my guy because there was no way we was gonna allow.
It was
with all due respect, man. I'm sure they were talented artists. I'm not trying to take anything from them.
For sure, yeah.
But bro, this North Fair Oaks, bro, is like that's our roots, bro, and it needs to be represented by the right person, and there was no one better, man.
Yeah, so they had that North Furrows council meeting, and that's where like you guys were able to come up because it was a public council meeting, talking about the finalists and what the art might be about, right? So you guys had the opportunity, as anybody does in a council meeting,
Yep.
The public time, speaking, whatever, to speak on, like, give their impact, and everybody went up there, man. Castro deserves. I think it was like 20 people, man. So
Yep.
locked in opportunity there. They did hire the guy from San Francisco. Shout out to Arthur Koch, man. He's a great artist, to be my mentor, because this was my first big mural.
Yeah.
So from there, like, I learned the gridding system, how to start it, how to sketch it, how to transfer it, all that stuff. But going back to the process to finalize it, bro, just, not giving up on myself. Again, being able to speak my mind and have those public speaking sort of like skills to represent myself in a time that was dire and needed, for myself to really uplift and, really create this new world that I live in right now with the anonymous recipes of myself, man, and keep pushing for this art to, really do its justice around communities, bro, and most importantly, continue to just power and lighten our communities and give them some strength through these images, bro.
Hell yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, man, that was. So now we want to transition into, the process and you doing it, man. It was a hot summer, my guy.
Crazy. I was out there, bro, without my shirt. You remember? I was out there
shirtless, and you had your little
Hey, bro, but I learned
hat,
I learned big time there, bro, that about skin cancer, bro. Like, my mom and my sister was like, hey, you can't. I wasn't with my wife at the time, so so they would say you need some sunscreen. So that's when I started wearing my little hat with the covered up.
Most definitely, bro.
Yeah.
Skin
So
cancer, you age faster because the sun hitting you on there.
For sure, bro. Yeah, so the process, man. Yeah, I mean, once we started, I just couldn't believe that I was about to do a big ass mural, bro. But I loved every second of it, from just simply painting it white, the big ass wall, right, whitening it down, getting new fresh canvas, to sketching the mural on the wall, bro. Like, just feeling like I had a big ass sketchbook, and that's what I love more, bro. Is sketching the piece on the wall, like, me for being a sketcher, right? Like, having my sketchbook at all times,
bro.
Remember when we went out to the bars, like, when I was younger and shit, bro? What I always have on me, my sketchbook, bro, and I just started sketching,
That's how I know you can whip something up in like 5 minutes. That's what I'm saying, man. Like,
yeah, anywhere was that, man. I always have, and I always have a little travel sketchbook, right? Because you never know when I'm gonna hit that time where I'm inspired or bored,
Right.
Yeah, man. So once I won it, we basically power washed the wall. We painted it white to get that new canvas. Then I started the gridded system, man, and that's where I learned how to really transfer like a sketch onto a wall. And thanks to the help of Arthur Koch, which is a muralist in San Francisco.
Shout out Arthur Koch, man.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
My guy.
So he showed me how to game up and how to build a foundation on how to create murals. And after we transferred the sketch onto a wall, that's when we started the painting, and then I started getting all these community days with PAL Center. We got Sienna Youth Center in there. I think a couple other nonprofits built through PAL. I think Kip actually showed up a little bit. It was around 80 students in one day, bro.
So
that was crazy.
For those of you who don't know, man, my guy was nice enough to work with nonprofits and come in there and just help with the painting and help the kids.
No
got
charge,
involved, man.
No charge at all.
The kids got involved, and that's beautiful,
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
It was like you made everyone feel a part of it, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was my goal for sure.
Even though you predominantly did a lot of the work, you made all of us feel a part of it. I mean, bro, like, every time I'd pass by, I see you working on there, and when I had time, best believe I'd pull up.
Yeah, you did.
I'd check up on my guy and be like, man, how you doing, man? Because shit, keeping you company. I know you love a little good laugh when we get together.
Yeah.
We talk about all sorts of jokes like Lalo stretch shorts and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? All sorts of things. So I just wanted to bring the vibes, and also I just wanted to chill, man. I just wanted to be a part of the process and just watch you do your art. And then when I wouldn't pull up, I'd always at least honk, be like, "Hey, Castro," and I'm sure you'd be like, "I don't know," but you just be like,
"Yeah, I just be like this."
Yep. But like, I just remember all those moments, man, and
that was great too, bro. I love that so much.
For sure, man. And it was just beautiful memories. And
yeah.
One other thing I want to share too, bro, that I thought was dope, man, is that taco truck that's there by where it says tacos.
Yeah.
Bro, I remember you asked me like, "Hey, bro, like, what's missing?" And I'm like, "Hey, I think that the truck, bro." You're like, "The truck?" It's like the worker truck, bro. The truck, like all the Latino paisas out here that work hard, man. Like, that's a representation of
And
us.
that's
How
when
many
we
of
put
them you see him
it.
through
That's
window?
when we put one in
My
there.
guy, so like, bro, like, man, I feel so honored and I'm so proud of that, bro, because I'm like, damn, like, my boy actually let me implement in a little bit of that mural. Like,
Man, yo,
for the
yeah.
most part, it was all, you and stuff, but like, you did ask a few people for certain pointers, and
Oh, for sure.
I
Yeah,
just told you,
absolutely.
bro, but I didn't know it was gonna stick like that. And then when I
Yeah,
seen you actually sketch it, and
yeah.
so if y'all see the little truck where the taco area is, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm just kidding. No,
Hey,
no, no. It was all my guy,
Spitta.
man. But
Hey,
hey,
Sir
bro,
J
like
the
just
Flame.
thank you again, bro, for making me feel, making us all feel like we were a part of it,
Yeah,
bro.
absolutely, bro. Thank you guys for the
You
support, man.
you painted the picture perfectly,
Appreciate
bro.
that, bro.
I know you had some things that you had to resketch because the city wasn't
Oh man,
with, you know what I'm
that
saying,
was crazy. Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
we probably ain't gonna get too much
Too
detail in
much in
that, you
there.
know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
for whatever reason, but we,
Yeah.
if you know, you know,
Yeah. Let's just say we had to put the city and the cops in their place for a couple of images
for sure.
on that mural, man. That was crazy.
It
Like
was
the,
controversial stuff,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
stuff that I think we had a good reason for it,
yeah.
and their reason for it was, but like anything dealing with cities, you know how it is, man. It's
Yeah,
politics,
honestly,
man.
and honestly, man, let me touch on that, bro.
Yeah,
Like
for sure. Yeah,
when you're an artist and you're an entrepreneur, you're gonna get opportunities if you really believe in yourself. And when you
right.
get to that point where you start dealing on an official level, because there's a local level. Local level is like, okay, yeah, Castro, let me hire you to paint a little mural in my garage, 1,200 cash. There's no contract. There's nothing in there, right? So okay, but once I start doing a mural for a city and like if like Summit schools where used to teach. They closed that down. Damn, man, on Fifth Avenue. But
Oh yeah,
they
bro.
got another one over there on Broadway. But we're gonna see what's up with them later. But I'm blessed to have the opportunity at the end of the day, man. But whether I'm there now, I'm dealing with the official paperwork, right? Where I have to have a contract, where I've had to learn how to create a contract, right? Represent myself well, and most importantly, make sure that I'm getting the compensation I deserve, and that's part of self value
For sure.
that you have to have on yourself. Because trust me, I've done murals for $1,000 that definitely I should have been paid for 5,000 for, and that's something I'm definitely not doing anymore, right? But again, back to the paperwork stuff, like there's a lot of stuff that I had to learn through that process, and as far as like saving, as far as like the taxes, the 10% you need to save, the just a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of like controversial stuff, but a lot of just learning that I had to do
Right.
independently, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, but most importantly as an artist.
Man,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure,
yeah,
man.
for
No,
sure,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Just learning, like you said, it's when you work with the city, right? It's more official. It's more
yeah,
paperwork.
yeah.
It's a lot more.
And that's anywhere, I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
trying to
For sure,
downplay
man.
Rebel City. Yeah, it's anywhere. It's anywhere. Any
Yeah, yeah, for
artist.
sure. It's just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
a process that you had to learn.
Right, right,
Certain
right, right.
things you weren't aware of. They might have thrown you off, but like you was just like, hey, this is what it is. This is what it is. And
Facts, facts.
yeah, yeah. I think that's important for you to share that. Once things become official, that like you start learning things that you probably didn't know, and
Straight
but it's
up.
growth, man. It's
Straight
growth,
up.
and
Yeah,
now
it's
I know
growth. Yep.
moving forward, next time you work with the city, you're gonna be a lot more prepared. You're gonna be a lot more knowledgeable. You know what I'm
Straight
saying?
up.
With
Hey, been already. Been. Yeah,
been already,
man. Been
right?
already.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying. Like you see, you already got it.
For sure, bro.
So, but like, hey, man, like real talk, bro. Like I know sometimes it's like you probably can't believe it, bro, or like it's too good to be true. But bro, like seriously, how did that make you feel, bro? When that was all said and done and finished, and you took a step back and you just looked at it, bro, and then you saw maybe you went through like flashbacks of people enjoying it and see how does that make you feel, bro? Like how deep down, bro, like how does that make you feel, bro? Like that itself, that masterpiece and the impact it had on the city.
Yeah, man. You know what? I mean, honestly, like I just say I wish my grandma could have seen it. Like
For sure.
it was definitely a defining moment because my grandma was there through the injustices that I mentioned through my family, and she just always supported me, and like she was a knitter, so she knitted a lot of stuff. I have a bunch of Raider stuff and a Chivas thing that she knitted for me at my house that I love, so I always appreciate her craft and kind of seeing that I got it from her a little bit, so she's very creative with that.
Yeah.
But it felt amazing, bro. It felt great to be honored for a craft that I've worked so hard for, a craft that
Yeah.
I've been doubted for, a craft that I started from scratch, literally the mud, like like nothing. But most importantly, bro, it felt great to feel like I'm doing good. Like I've always wanted to do good. That's been my purpose, that I feel like I've been able to find out for myself. that allows me to get validation, the validation I need, as anybody needs validation, but also just to feel like I just serve my purpose, bro, and that's to be a
beautiful,
good
man.
person, and that's to really enlighten my community where I'm at, and just inspire people to just be themselves, accept themselves, and teach the next person, you know. And I feel like just coming together, most importantly, man, in unity. I feel like it's very cliche. It's very like, you know, people will say like, oh, this month just going, you know, but like I'm really about it, bro. Like I really wake up every fucking day, and I'm like, I'm gonna do a good deed today. I'm gonna do this and that. And trust me, it's not every day, right? You know, some I have my lazy days too. Trust me,
For
where
sure.
I sleep in, and you know, what I mean, I'm not doing shit type shit. We're all human, but
Yeah.
for the most part, bro, I'm always trying to do that. So that day, that was a great fulfillment and a great way for me to finally say like, you know what, like I'm serving my purpose.
Bro,
Yeah,
that's beautiful, man.
for
To
sure. Yeah.
reach that pinnacle in your life,
Oh yeah, man, for sure.
to know you touch so many people, bro. Like
Right, right.
that's like
Yeah.
it just like it's purpose at its finest, bro.
Straight up, bro. Straight up, straight up, straight up.
And it's just, bro. Like I said, I can't say enough about how beautiful that was. And what about? Don't you got another one in Red Martin that you did, right?
Yeah,
By
I
the
gotta.
park?
Yeah,
Yeah. Let's talk a little more about the other murals you've done
yeah, for
since
sure. Yeah,
since that.
since then, bro. So, right after that, man, I think I'll have to just kind of go back and forth. So I got one at MA, my old high school where I graduated. I did that one in 2023. I did that one along with Messa's Park. I did those two murals at the same time. Something I'm never gonna fucking do again. Have two murals at the same time, bro. I was painting from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night. Let me tell you how bad I hated art at that time. I mean, I got paid, you know, and it was great opportunities, bro, but I busted ass. And again,
Oh man.
learning curve right there. I fucking am never taking on two murals at the same time, bro. That was so overwhelming. Because think about it, it's not just art. It's a business. It's something that I created, right, but something that I also have to make sure has consistency, has respect, and most importantly, opportunity. And that's a lot in itself. On top of that, now I have to come home to my lovely wife. You know, I have family I got to catch up on. It's life. Everybody has it, man. I'm not saying I'm a simple thing, but, all those are factors. But anyways, on top of that, I got a mural at Wells Fargo, downtown Redwood City. Very blessed to have had that opportunity. That was
Wells
awesome.
Fargo, let's go.
Yeah, my recent mural was at Kennedy Middle School.
Okay.
Kennedy Middle School, y'all know Kennedy. That's a fucking.
That's where you went, right? Kennedy?
Nah, I went to Hoover, bro.
Oh, okay.
My
Okay, I was
cousin
about
went
to
to
say.
Kennedy though. Shout out
Okay,
to my
okay,
cousin
okay.
Eric, man.
So you got to get
Eric
Hoover
Roach.
then, right?
Yeah, so Hoover is next, bro.
Okay.
I'm in touch with the people over there, but you know how it goes with funding, and
Yeah,
our,
of course.
our current administration cutting back on a lot of those funding checks. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah,
For
yeah.
opportunities. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah,
won't get
yeah,
into that though.
yeah.
But I got one there, bro. And then actually, my recent one is at EPA Charter.
Okay.
Aspire EPA Charter Middle School in East Palo Alto. It was great to do a mural over there and kind of be back in my roots. Because I did have some history at East Palo Alto, going to college track right after high school.
Okay.
College track is a great little program a great program for students to have, sort of like a backup foundation on top of the whole. At least that's what I felt like. I felt like I had a second family there, but also the great resources they have for students who really want to excel and find opportunity in different subject matters. Whether you want to be a lawyer, whether you want to be a therapist, whether you want to help people. I mean, there's so many resources there.
Yeah.
So anybody in high school who's hearing this or has kids, definitely shout out to College Track. And they're around.
Yeah.
So I did the mural around the corner from them. So it was great to just be in East Palo Alto again and give back to those kids when I was painting there. Man, those kids are freaking amazing, bro. It was just it was lovely to just be there. But yeah. So to conclude, bro, what's it called? I'm trying to think of any other
Man,
murals.
that's a lineup, my guy.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
a lineup.
I mentioned Messa's Park. That one was freaking awesome. I love that, bro. All the volleyball people, and I go back to all my murals, bro. And like honestly, man, like knock on wood, but like I just gotta say this, like I am so fucking blessed that like none of my shit's been touched. Because you see that Santana mural up in San Francisco that's done spray paint right there by I think Mission and 24th, if I'm not mistaken. That thing got white paint thrown at it like not too long ago, and they had to repaint it, right? So I gotta say this, man. I'm so blessed that my art has not been touched and disrespected when it can be in any time, whatever. Even through the whole Trump dilemma in 2016, like I felt like my shit was gonna get touched, but I gotta say, man, really that it goes to show that when you are 100% about who you are and who you represent yourself as, and you carry a strict sort of responsibility to that, then that goes to show that the community is gonna respect it. Because how can you not respect, like, you know, a great foundation? How can you
Right.
not respect truth, and most importantly, like, messages and symbols, bro, of peace, gratuity, love, empowerment? I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I'm really blessed, man, that all my murals carry the same sort of subject matters. Again, I think I've said that for the third time, but you know, really love that the art just does it justice, bro.
Yeah, hell
Like you
yeah.
said, like you've seen people crying on my mural. I've seen people there praying and stuff, and it's a great place for people to just go and feel inspired, feel themselves, feel in need. And you know what? Again, I don't need to be on that caption. I don't need to be, acknowledged for every single time. All I need to do is let the art speak for itself, get accepted for who's gonna accept it, and most importantly,
That's
man, live
beautiful,
free,
bro.
bro. Live
That's
free.
beautiful, bro.
Hell yeah, buddy.
Hey, and you touched on something that I think
Yeah.
is very important
Yeah.
for people to hear out there is for me, like I could relate to with music, right? I love music, you love art. It's all fun and games until it become like a job where you start getting paid for it, and now you're required to do it every
Yeah.
single day.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? When you do this, like it's cool when you're like, oh yeah, I feel inspired today. Let me go in the studio. Well, you wanted to go to the studio.
Yeah.
How about when you didn't want? Like we don't always want to do music. You don't always want to do art.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
definitely not.
And so it get real, man. When you take it seriously and you take it as a career path, there's times, man, where you don't love the art. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And it's not, and it's
absolutely.
because you're human, and it's real
Yeah.
life shit, man. Like
Yeah.
think about like artists, right? They're on tour, they're on their 50th show. You don't think they're tired? Like they're probably like, man, I wish I could take a day off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
Because it just becomes so repetitive. And it's not to say that we don't love the art. It's to say that it's a different test when it's a career, because then you got to do it every day. And some days you're not up for it. Some days you're not inspired, but you don't even have that decision because you signed up for this. So you got to I remember one time, I was doing the Cowhide Sports, man, and my uncle passed away. But like I had committed to do it. It was one of the hardest days, you know what I'm saying, for me, because it's like I had to get myself together, and do this verse, but man, I was not up for it. But that's when it taught me what you said, bro, where I was like, you were saying, like, man, I had to do this from 10 a.m. I hated that shit. Well, that day, I wouldn't say I hated it, but I definitely didn't want to do it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I had to put myself together. And that's when I realized, and it made me think, like, damn, like, everybody wants to do something and they love it until they actually see the work that it takes, and that it's not easy, and then you don't always want to get up for it. And that's when you kind of realize, okay, this is where you see if you really want it or not, because
Yeah,
it
yeah,
ain't for the
yeah.
weak.
That's
And it's
what
not
I'm
to
saying.
discourage y'all, but it's just to say, like,
No,
that's
for
just
sure.
life, man.
No,
Like,
for sure,
when
yeah,
you
yeah.
do something and you do it at a high level, and you do it as a career,
Yeah.
and you take it seriously, there will be those days where you
Yeah.
get burnt out, where
Yeah.
you might not feel inspired,
For sure.
where you might not want to do it,
Yeah.
but you got to. You
got
got to
to.
put two and two together.
Facts, bro.
You know what
That's
I'm
big
saying?
facts, yeah,
I just wanted to throw that out there, man, because
No,
I
for
thought
sure.
you brought up a good point. In terms of like you love art for the most part in general, but
Yeah.
there were those times where it was like you were doing it from, you said 10 a.m.
Oh
to 10
yeah,
p.m.
taking on two meals at the same time, but it also takes you back to that first art show, bro. Like I'm telling you, like, I worked on it for so long, and I'm like kind of getting into college, and I'm doing these art shows, and I feel like I feel like I'm somewhere, and I didn't sell shit, So it's like, these are I always say reality isn't for the weak.
Right.
Like if you don't need to be a strong mindseted person. You don't need to have it all figured out, but you gotta have fucking ganas way. You gotta have some, backup juice in yourself to be able to take those no's, the slap in the faces, and most importantly, the taking advantage of, bro, because you're gonna get taken advantage of whether you like it or not in so many ways. As an upcoming artist, I'll say that, But think about it, whether you want to be an upcoming lawyer, an upcoming this and that, you're gonna have to put yourself in those underdog roles to really, see the limelight, listen with your ears, and most importantly, excel in those, find your strengths and weaknesses and excel in the strengths that you see you best fit in, bro. You know what I'm
Facts,
saying?
bro.
Straight up, bro. So, yeah, man, it's not for the weak, but it's possible, man. That's the most important thing. Let me leave with that. Let me end that segment with that. It's possible, man. You just gotta trust that shit. For real.
Yeah, man. And so for those that are not familiar with the location for the Middlefield one, I mean, you got a lot, but the one that gets showcased a lot it's on Middlefield Road,
Second Avenue.
Second Avenue. Y'all drive down Middlefield, Redwood City, California, to be exact.
Big
North
Rose,
Farrell's
yeah.
district, for y'all to know. So for those who don't know, I mean, most people watching probably know, But for the ones out there, man, who are from somewhere else in the Bay Area or California or all over the world, man, and y'all come to Redwood City, come to Middlefield and Second, and y'all can see everything we're talking about.
Hell yeah.
You know
Big
what I'm
rose
saying?
in the
Just for
middle,
y'all.
man. Big rose in the middle. You'll see.
Yeah,
You can't
most
miss it.
definitely.
Yeah.
For sure, man. So, for the future artists, muralists, man.
Yeah.
What advice, man, would you give that little young Picasso right now that is just working his way through? Maybe he's frustrated. Maybe he's in a dilemma. Maybe he's in a crisis, man.
Yeah.
What advice would you give him, man, in terms of like from what you've learned? You know what I'm saying?
So I'm gonna answer with two replies. Number one is gonna be simple and straight to the point. Like, don't give up. That's it. Number one.
Beautiful.
Don't give up, bro. Like, honestly, if I could tell you, if I'm about to fall off of a cliff and I'm giving you a secret passcode, that's what it is, bro. Don't give up. Don't give up. If you got a dream, you go for that shit, man, because there's going to be so many people that tell you no, and so many places that want you to give up because they don't want to see you shine because you bring something to the table. Don't give up. My second one will be, a more like sort of elaborate
Okay.
take on that, which is gonna be, look, man, if you fix what's in here, which is your mind, if you fix your mind into, knowing what it is that you want, but also knowing yourself, everything else will follow. And that's whether you believe in God, whether you believe in spirits, spirituality, whether you believe in time, place, etc., whatever it is that you believe in. If you fix your mind right, everything else follows, because there's no way in hell you're gonna tell me that you busted ass for a week and something is not gonna come your way, whether it's a fucking promotion, whether it's your mom giving you a pat in the back, or whatever. If you have a parent, this and that, something's gonna come back in your life if you ever to fix this and work hard, because with hard work comes great reward, right? And honestly, lastly, I'm gonna say, always go into an empty room with no expectations. Never expect nothing. Always go in thinking the worst and expecting the best, right? Type shit, straight up.
Gems,
You know what I
man.
mean? So yeah, man. With that, don't give up.
Woo.
Be yourself, man. For real.
Castro, man, you dropping game on him, man. Dropping so much game, man. Appreciate you for that.
Of course, bro.
So, man, like, what's next, man? Like, what's next for Castro? What could the people expect, man? Anything in the works? Anything coming up?
Yeah.
Keep us posted, man. What's going on?
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, I'll bring out that we're trying to do a mural right there at the Woodside Bridge, the overpass right behind Hoover, the catwalk as we all know it. You know what I'm
yup.
saying? So we trying to make a
Yup.
mural there, bro. See what's up. But most importantly, man, what's next for me is just making sure I'm taking advantage of time, taking advantage of being with your loved ones, and making life out of the time that we have here, man. Because we're not promised tomorrow. Whatever it is that you might be going with your life, man, try to figure out key points to that and see why it is that you're in that position. Because at the end of the day, man, you're not promised tomorrow, and you have a purpose, you have something to give. So, for me, my art's always gonna be next. I let my art figure out where it's gonna take me in my next opportunity. I just mentioned one of the objects I have. I have a few commissions I'm working on in my house, man. So I'm always gonna be making sure I do my art. But what's next for me, bro, is just time and taking advantage of what I can do and how many more lives and communities I can inspire, bro. And just keep doing my purpose, keep working at my purpose, which is being a good person, bro.
That's
Yes,
beautiful,
Sirski.
man.
Yeah.
But-
Hey, Cast man, appreciate you. Y'all talking about ya tu sabe,
Ya tu
papi.
sabe, papi.
Hey, Lalo, let me get the shorts.
Hey, Lala, where them shorts at, man?
Cash
I'm
your
talking
credit.
about them elastic ones, the ones that stretch, man.
Nah, for sure. Hey, man, well, thank you so much for having me over, Spitta. I appreciate you, brother, for sure, man. We locked in. There's nothing else needs to be said about that. And man, again, just last words to close out. Get your mind right, man. If you believe in something, man, go for it. If anyone has any questions, I'm always open to give out feedback, man, and I'm always open to feedback myself. But with that said, I appreciate you. Thank you, community, for allowing me to come into you guys' ears and share some game, if that is game for y'all. But thank you guys for respecting the art, giving me support, and it's always anonymous recipes, man, to the end for me. Let's go.
Man, anonymous recipes, bro.
Yeah,
Castro, man.
recetas.
I know this one gonna be one for the books. I'm definitely, you know what I'm saying? Like I tell most people, man, I don't think we covered enough, but this is a start.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We'll talk more in depth, bring you back for part 2 in the future, you know what I'm saying? Because this ain't gonna be the only one I bring my guy in. He's a busy guy. It might take a year or 2 to bring him back, but hey, you know.
All right, man. We hustling, man. We hustling. I appreciate you, Spitta.
Hey,
One love,
sure.
bro.
Hey, for
Let's
sure,
go.
man.
North Fair Oaks, baby.
Dungee Podcast, episode 7. Y'all make sure to like. Y'all make sure to subscribe. And y'all make sure to check out my guys' art, man. Hit them with the website, man. You got a website,
man.
right?
Yep. www.anonymousrecipes.com.
Sure.
IG at CASSDRO 3 E's. And then at Recetas Anónimas for the art, man. Appreciate you guys again. Thank you for the love, community. Thank you for the love. Take advantage of time. And most importantly, be yourself.
Hell
Gang.
yeah. Dungee Podcast, episode 7. We signing out, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Let's get it.
Yeah. Hey, that was dope.
God.
That was dope, bro.